Hey, how's it going, everyone? So I'm really excited for our training tonight. It is going to be teaching you how to world travel while running a life coaching business. So my name's Krista Kathleen. I'm certified life and business coach and trainer with Inner Glow Circle. And before we start tonight's training, I am going to try something new that I think would be really fun and got a lot of positive feedback in my Facebook group. So I've really gotten into oracle cards lately, and I am going to read from Soulful Woman. I'm going to pick a card for you all so that way you can get some guidance and some answers in life and just a little like check-in to get present before we do our training. So I'm really excited you all are here. I'm happy to see you. I've been looking forward to this all week. Also, I made a free worksheet for you, so the link is in the description. I highly recommend downloading it because it's going to contain all of the information that I talk about tonight, plus it's going to have the website links as well that I'm going to talk about, so you should download it. But all right, so go ahead and, hi Colleen, welcome, so excited you're here. So Colleen, we're going to start off with an oracle card reading from my Soulful Woman deck, and then we're going to get right into the training. So go ahead and close your eyes. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Get nice and situated here and take a nice deep breath in. Good. Do that again. Breathe in. Breathe in love and joy. Exhale out any stress from the day. Any worries, any anxiety. One more time. Nice breath in. And exhale, release, let go. Now lightly press your lips together. And slowly just keep breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. And while you have your eyes closed, I'm going to go ahead and read our card. And while I'm reading the card, I want you to think of if there's any questions that you have in life right now that feel unresolved, that feel unanswered, anywhere that you're looking for more guidance. I want you to stay open and receiving. Hi, Van. I want you to stay open and receiving to the message that this card can bring for you today. So the card that I believed was self-belief. And it says, self-belief is the magic key that opens up a better, more inspired future for me. Amazing, because we're talking about traveling. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to read for the book. So keep your eyes closed, continue to breathe, and just listen to this message. Self-belief is the magic key that opens up a better, more inspired future. A future in which I do all the things I've dreamed of doing, even if I don't know how to do them just yet. I am on my own side now, backing myself, following my own star. I will do it my own way and in my own time, comparing myself to no one. Enjoying the adventure, I will see how far I can go, surprising myself as I move beyond old self-imposed limits. As I take this journey of discovery, I know I'll figure it out as I go, step by step. I give myself permission to ask for help or go back to the drawing board, because that is part of the process of finding my way to a new place. Today, I'm stretching into the unknown, into new territory, and daring to be bigger, bolder, and freer than I was only yesterday. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. And this is the card. How appropriate was that for our topic today? Self-belief is the magic key that opens up a better, more inspired future for me. Yvonne and Colleen, what did you get from that message and from that card? That was so beautiful. I love that. So while you both amazing women are typing out your responses, let's move on to our training topic today. So traveling around the world. So this is something that it took a long time for me to get to this headspace of it's okay to sell all my shit and leave my life behind and go out into the unknown and not know what the heck I'm doing, and to just go for it anyways because something inside of me said to do it. And it was so incredibly scary. And there were so many times I was so close to wanting to back out. And so many people doubted me. I doubted myself. And I thought I was crazy. And I didn't really know a lot of people who were doing something like this. So I was totally just like going based off like intuition and faith and just following my path. And I mean, and I'm going to share with you, you know, like the research that I did, and it ended up working out amazing. And I'm so glad I did. I actually love traveling so much. I'm going to go back to South Africa this spring and go down there for 3 months to keep working on my coaching business. But travel is amazing. It stretches you. It teaches you so much about yourself. You meet some of the most amazing people in the world. You try some of the most incredible food. You see the most beautiful things you've ever seen in your life, and you will not stay the same after you go traveling for an extended period of time. And then when you come back to your home country, if you do, you don't have to, but you just appreciate everything so much more, and you just slow down in life and you enjoy life. And I'm so glad I did. So if any of you are kind of like, I don't know if I should do this, or for, you know, if you just have a lot of questions or doubt, I so recommend it. It was so worth it. I don't regret it at all. Hi, Hannah. Okay, Colleen said, totally appropriate for me since my self-belief has been growing daily and sometimes it doesn't and I feel stuck. Once I get my mind back into the self-belief, I feel like things start moving forward again. Oh, perfect. I love that message, Colleen. And Hannah, you said, I love living in Africa. Cool. I forgot about that. What parts of Africa did you live in, Hannah? So, okay, let's get to the worksheet. And remember, if you haven't downloaded the worksheet yet, the link is in the description section. I'll also put it in the comment section right now as well, because the worksheet has lots of good information on it. There we go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about, the term digital nomad. So you want to get familiar with this term. You are going to be a digital nomad. The term of what a digital nomad is digital nomads are people who are location independent and use technology to perform their job. So I remember when I first got on the road and people were saying this word digital nomad, I was like, what does the heck that mean? So you are going to be a digital nomad soon if you're going to run your business on the road. The next important thing is intuition. Intuition is everything when you're traveling. And one of the first ways I let my intuition help or come into play was when I literally was in my house in Seattle, Washington at the time, and I spread like this big world map across the table, and I was like, okay, I can go anywhere I want in the world. Where should I start? I remember feeling just so overwhelmed and frustrated, and I didn't even know how to begin picking. And then I just prayed and I talked to the universe, and I was like, okay, where do you want me to start? And like literally after I said that, in my email, an invitation popped up for this retreat in Costa Rica from this girl that I followed through a blog. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start in Costa Rica. So I think that's a great way to use your intuition to help you to figure out which place to go. And I did that. I would only really plan out 3 months ahead each time. And then I would talk to the universe and I said, just show me where to go next, and just keep things open. And a lot of people don't understand that concept because we always want to have a plan and know how things are exactly going to work out. But I think like having a little bit of a plan, but then also staying open at the same time to new possibilities is so beautiful. I also use intuition a lot too for safety. We'll talk about that actually in a little bit. But I mean, intuition, you use all the time, right? You use it in business and daily life decisions, but I use it all the time in my travel planning. Excuse me. So the next thing is Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is going to be your best friend, because if you are working on the road and you have paying coaching clients like I did, you have you have to have a good Wi-Fi connection. And so that has to be the priority. And so a good website to go to, and I have this on the worksheet, is nomadlist.com. And on that website, they tell you so much. They tell you the top cities for digital nomads. They'll tell you like internet speed, safety in the city, weather, cost of living, healthcare, female friendly, English speaking, and everything you would want to know. So I really love that website. And so many places in the world have great Wi-Fi connections. I didn't think that they would, but they really do. And sometimes some of the third world countries have, like, I got better Wi-Fi connection in Cambodia, which is a third world country, than I did in Australia, which I was like, what is going on here, right? The next thing is weather. You want to make sure that you check the weather in the season ahead of time, because as I have in the description here on the worksheet, you don't want to be imagined like you're going to a warm tropical climate and you're like, I'm going to be laying on the beach, sipping pina coladas, and then you don't plan and you end up during the rainy season, which, just so you know, a lot of times tropical seasons don't have winter, they just have rainy seasons, rainy and dry. That's especially true in Africa. So you want to make sure that you really just, go on Google and search ahead of time. What is the weather or the time of the year? And also remember that in the Southern Hemisphere, it is going to be the direct opposite. So in like Africa and South America right now, it is their spring and they're getting ready to go into summer, and we're getting ready to go into winter. The next thing is use Pinterest. Pinterest is going to be your best friend for travel planning. I used Pinterest all the time, and I didn't realize how many people don't use Pinterest. It's such an amazing search engine. And what I did is I created a board called Awesome Travel Shit. And anytime I was going to go to a new place, I would like type in the search bar, like travel to France. And then all these different blogs would come up of people who've been to France ahead of time, and they'll tell you exactly how to pack or what restaurants to go to or what sites to see from a local's perspective. And it's awesome. I love it, and I highly recommend using Pinterest. Next is you're going to need an office to work out of, because remember, if you have paying clients, they do need to come first because they're paying. And so we already talked about making sure you have really good Wi-Fi. You also need to have a private, safe, quiet office space because you don't want to have a lot of background noise and music, because that can really disrupt the call. So you can work in coffee shops. There are Starbucks all over the world. You just have to be aware of like the music playing in the background. But for me personally, I like to do co-working spaces or just staying in my apartment and working. And we'll let's see, okay, so we'll just talk about co-working spaces now. So a co-working space is a really cool concept, and when you go on nomadlist.com, they'll have a tab at the top that says co-working, and they'll tell you all the different co-working spaces in the city, and they're basically just offices for entrepreneurs and location independent people. And then sometimes there's companies will have their offices there as well. But I mean, you can search on Google right now and you could even find one in your city. Just type in your city and co-working and so many will come up. So for people like myself that have online businesses and we physically don't have to be somewhere, sometimes it's nice to just get out of the house. For me, I'm in my bedroom right now. This is my office currently in St. Louis. And there's some days where I don't leave the house for days and I am still in pajamas and I haven't washed my face. And I'm like, I just need to get out and I need to be around people and I need like that creative environment. And so you can get that at a co-working office. And sometimes it's like just a long community table where everyone's there on their laptops working, or sometimes you can get your own little private office. And sometimes the membership can be expensive. It can be anywhere from maybe like $50 to like $200 a month. It just depends on the place. But so they have lots of those all over the world. And it's cool too, because a lot of times they'll organize events, and it's great if you're in a new city and you don't know anyone and you want that community. There's always going to be like events going on there as well. So let me just check in to see who's all here. Thanks, Yvonne. Hi, Chloe. Hi, Tabitha. Hi, Nanette. This is making my travel bug itch really bad. Good, Hannah. Tell me when you're going to go traveling again. Nanette, you said, love Pinterest. I pin everything from my perfect man to Halloween costumes. Oh, I love that. I didn't think about creating a board for my perfect man on Pinterest. I should do that. All right, let's talk about flights. I use Google Flights to find flights. I also sometimes use the app Travel Pirates that is powered through Kayak. Just remember that on certain days of the week, it's going to be cheaper to fly on other days. So Google Flights will tell you all that information. And yeah, that's really all I have for flights. And then transportation. Nanette, I'm glad you're watching this. We talked about this the other day. Remember, having a car is a luxury item, and I did not have a car the past 2 years while traveling abroad, and I was freaking out about that. I remember getting ready to leave the United States, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to survive without a car because I've had a car my entire life. And then I get out into the world, and I realize most people don't own a car. Cars are expensive, and especially in cities where you can just walk everywhere, like walking's awesome. Or a lot of people have bicycles, or they have mopeds, or they use public transportation. So the things that I use the most, I used Uber or local taxis or trains or walking. That's what I did. And I got by just fine. I always made sure that I stayed more in the city center. You want to make sure, you don't want to be like way out in the countryside if you're not going to have a car. And then also the app Rome to Rio is amazing because there's a lot of times where I'm like, well, is it better to fly to this place? Is it better to take a train? Is it better to take a bus? When we were doing my boyfriend and I at the time were doing a little side trip to the Balkan Islands, not the Balkan peninsula, and we were going to go to Bosnia and Croatia and Montenegro, and we're like, how's the best way to get there? And so you go on the Rome to Rio app and it tells you all the different options, and we figured out the bus was the cheapest and kind of the most efficient way to get there aside from flying, which was actually going to be really expensive. So I love that app. Next is accommodations. My favorite places to stay were in Airbnbs. They're so simple and easy to use. You can stay anywhere from one night to, I booked one in Serbia for up to 3 months. And they also now have a new thing. They have a filter to choose homes that are designed for people who are actually going to be working. So a lot of times I would put that filter on because I knew that the Wi-Fi was going to be good if I was going to be working out of the home, and that it was going to be quieter. There weren't going to be parties going on. Because usually I always just rent out a private room when I'm by myself. If I'm with a significant other, we'll get our own place because then you can split the cost too. But it is more cost efficient to just rent out a private room from someone, and then you get to know the family and the host as well, which everyone I've ever met on Airbnb is so incredibly nice and gracious, and then they give you the insider secrets to how you can explore the city, and it's just fun to feel more like a local in that way. And then I have my referral link here on the worksheet too for Airbnb. If you want to travel for a while and you actually would want to rent out your house to make some money, you can do that. You can sign up as a host on Airbnb and you can use my referral link there. So another thing you can do is co-living. So we talked about co-working, and what it is it's a co-working office combined with an Airbnb essentially. So it's kind of like you're a college kid again. You're living and working in the same place. And so there was a little town in northern Serbia that I stayed at. What's it called? Shoot, I can't think of it. Something house. But I stayed there and it was awesome. It was like a little utopia for entrepreneurs, and they had a pool, they had a gym, they had dorms, they had a kitchen / cafeteria, and you just never had to leave. Everything was right there and attracted entrepreneurs from all over the world. It was gorgeous. It was amazing. So fun. Another great thing for accommodations is Workaway. Again, I remember I have all these things listed on the worksheet. Workaway, I did 2 Workaway assignments when I was staying in Australia because Australia is so fucking expensive. Oh, that's my phone. Okay. So Workaway is basically like work trade assignments. And when you go onto the website, they have opportunities all over the world. And the first one I did, I stayed in a little town of Esperance on the southwestern side of Australia, and I stayed with a family there, and I helped them clean the house and help them in their garden for a couple hours every day in exchange for food and a place to stay. So it was awesome because they took me everywhere. I was there for Christmas, and I got to be a part of their family and their traditions, and it was amazing. And then my second one I did is I went back up north to Perth, and I stayed at a yoga ashram for 2 weeks, and I did 5 hours of community service at the ashram in exchange for free food and a free place to stay. So that is a great way to have really cheap accommodations and to do really cool experiences. And then you can also work too. If you're only like doing 3 to 5 hours of work a day, you could spend the second half of the day working on your business too. All right, exercise. So you all know that I used to be a bodybuilder. I used to be a health coach. I'm a really big health and fitness fanatic. So for me, I prioritized exercising, and because this is not vacationing, this is living. So even though you are like traveling, you have to get in a different mindset because this is an extended period of time. So you do have to develop routines so you don't lose your mind. And I remember like the first like 2 to 3 months, it was really hard for me to adjust because I was in Costa Rica at the time, and I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm on this tropical vacation. But then at the same time, I know I'm going to be here for like a month and a half. So I can't just eat junk food every day, and I can't just lay on the beach every day. Like I do need to find a gym. I do need to get in the work mode. I do need to be healthy and cook meals. So that took a little bit of adjusting, but then I got to a point where I started to incorporate or started to really understand that this is working and living abroad, and it's not vacationing 24/7. But so some of my favorite things to do to stay in shape was, of course, walking every day. That helped a lot. And then I did CrossFit. So I'd really recommend, if you're thinking about CrossFit, to start at a box, which is what they call a gym, to start at a box in your home country first, get trained there before you start traveling all over the world. Because a lot of times when I was in South Korea, the whole class was in Korean. And then when I went to Italy, the whole CrossFit class was in Italian. But luckily I've been doing CrossFit for a couple of years. And so I knew just by like looking at the American names of the movements on the board and then seeing what everyone else was doing, is really easy for me to pick up. But I think it would have been really hard for me to learn CrossFit on the road. Also did yoga. Again, a lot of yoga classes are in the foreign country, or it's in the foreign language, but because I'm a yoga teacher and I already have a strong background, it was just easy to follow along. Also, I do use YouTube a lot. There's a lot of amazing free workout classes on YouTube, and I love HIIT videos. So that's spelled HIIT, which stands for High Intensity Interval Training. And these workouts are great because they're quick, they're short, there can be anywhere from like 10 to 20 minutes, and they really get your heart rate up and down, and you lose a lot of weight. So I love doing that. And then sometimes I would find a local gym as well. And you can use TripAdvisor, like to search for all these places. And just so you know, Yelp does not work outside the United States. All right. Hi, Mona. Welcome. Hannah said you're going to Maui in January, Munich in the fall of 2020. But that's way too long between international trips. I know, that is a long time away. That is a great exchange. Yes, Workaway is awesome. I love it. All right, let's talk about food. This is the best part of traveling in my mind, is trying new foods and be adventurous. When I was in Cambodia for the weekend, I tried it all. Unfortunately, snake and tarantula was not in for that season when I was there, but I did eat all the bugs. I ate like fried grasshoppers and larvae, and what else did I probably, I don't know, worms. I don't know. I ate all kinds of shit. Anything that they gave me, I pretty much was, because if you refuse it, like people will take it offensively. So you just gotta like just try it. But you do have to be careful though. We'll talk about health and medical in the next one, but like with trying all these new foods, you're going to be exposed to all kinds of new like germs and bacteria and things that your stomach and immune system has never encountered before. And you're gonna like, I had stomach stuff going on all the time. Like every new country I was in, I was like, oh, I know I'm gonna get diarrhea this first week. So that's just you'll see a lot of travelers getting stomach issues. When I was in Thailand, I had accidentally ate a fresh salad, which I forgot you're not supposed to do because they wash it with the water. And I was throwing up for a couple days. But I just remember I had my head in the toilet and I was like, well, I earned my stripes as a world traveler. So I tried to see it as like a positive travel story versus like, this sucks. Why did I do this to myself? But as far as like food goes, you can go on Pinterest and type in like the country you're looking for new foods to try. There's lots of great things there. The Eater 38 list. I love the Eater 38 list. And they're going to tell you the top 38 restaurants to try in the city. You can even use the Eater 38 list in your own city right now. And every time I find one of the restaurants on the Eater 38 list, like, it's so amazing. It's so good. You can use TripAdvisor, or you can just talk to locals. I love doing that. I love making friends with the locals and asking them where they recommend it to go, because that's usually where the hidden little gems are. And then a lot of times too, I would always make sure like my Airbnb had a kitchen, because I didn't want to eat out every day. I wanted to make sure that I could be near a little local grocery store and cook my own meals as well. And just to prepare you, we're so used to things like Target and Walmart and these really big grocery stores, and they don't have things like that outside the US. The only place I've seen have somewhat of box stores that we do is Australia, but other than that, no one else in the world has box stores. So a lot of times grocery stores are just going to be like super small and just have a few things of each items, which is actually kind of refreshing because it takes away the paralysis analysis in the decision-making process. All right, let's move on to health and medical. So I would recommend getting travel insurance. There's like a big debate in the world traveler world of, do I get health insurance or not? Because it is expensive. I mean, I paid like $200 every month, and I was like, I'm probably not going to use this. And it is honestly just cheaper to go get medical care without insurance. Like, medical care is really good outside the United States, and it's so cheap. So cheap. Like I actually didn't have any dental insurance, and I got my teeth cleaned, and it was like $40. And they did all kinds of amazing stuff. But I use Geo Blue travel insurance, and it is good because if you do like any tours, if you do like canyoning or skydiving or whitewater rafting or like those kind of more high intensity sports, they're going to require that you have travel insurance in case something happens. And then if there's like a national disaster, these will cover you and can air vac you out. So I think it's a good idea to have it, and it just gives you that like peace of mind. And then for the ladies, period wise, I use the Diva Cup, and then I use the Thinx period panties. So I combine the two, and I really like them. I still actually use them to this day. And that way you don't have to fill up your suitcase and take up all this space with tampons and pads. And then there's a lot of countries that don't have like sanitary products, and they're really bad for the environment, and they have a lot of like that white talcum powder and stuff on it. So Um, Go onto Amazon and get a Diva cup. It's like $30 and it totally pays for itself. And then I have a referral link here for the Thinks period panties. And that's good because sometimes there are some links with the Diva leaks with the Diva cup, and then the period panties will just catch them. So I had 2 pairs of those and it was great. It was perfect. Worked out really well. Okay, we're almost done. We're on the last page. So safety-wise, a lot of people think that world traveling is dangerous. And honestly, I felt so incredibly safe traveling. I actually felt safer being outside the US. Like in downtown St. Louis, I do not feel safe. But in most places in the world, it's so incredibly safe. And what you see on the news in the US is they're focusing on like very small, they're focusing on the negative all the time, you know, the more intense events. So you think that applies to the whole country, but it doesn't. So don't let the news scare you or intimidate you. And I think that every American should go travel and get outside their country for a little bit. But I did enroll in Krav Maga recently. So I have a 6-month membership and it's an Israeli defense system. So I just personally feel like with future world traveling, and especially when I'm traveling by myself, that just knowing how to protect and defend myself is going to make me just feel even more empowered when I travel. I think it's a great idea that every woman knows how to properly protect yourself in case there is a situation. The things that I saw the most was pickpocketing. So I didn't have a purse when I was traveling. I just either would have like a little wristlet or I carried my phone in my hand, and then I had a phone case that had a little wallet on the background. So you always just want to keep your stuff really close to you. Don't wear pants. My stepdad had, when we were in Greece last year, he had like cargo pants and he had his wallet and his money in one of the pockets and someone pickpocketed him. And then when I was in Colombia in South America, I saw a few people get pickpocketed as well. And also I think it's a good idea just not walk alone at night and use your intuition. And if something's telling you this is shady, this doesn't feel right, you know, just get to a place of safety as soon as possible and get into an Uber and get home as soon as possible, or find someone that can walk with you, or just don't just listen to your intuition. And if it's saying something's wrong, then get out of the situation right away. Also, there's a program called the STEP program. I have the link here. I did register with it and update it to every new country I was going to. And it basically like registers your name and your information with the local embassy in case there is something that goes wrong. If there's like a coup that forms or a national disaster, they're going to keep you updated via your phone or email. And then if something happens to you and your family goes looking for you, they would like have that information at least. And it's just good. It's good, especially if you're going to be like by yourself, that someone in that country like knows how to get a hold of you or find you. Okay, just gonna check here. Moni said Ashtanga yoga is also a form of yoga that's the same sequence every single time, and usually taught in Sanskrit. So if you can learn in English, you can go anywhere in the world and the class will be the same. Oh, well, that's cool. That's a fun fact. Thank you. Hi Santa. Hi Liz. Yes, South America is so amazing. I was there for 5 months. It's so awesome. I so recommend it. Okay, let's talk about money next. So I used the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. I really wish I would have had the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I did a travel program called We Roam, and so many people there had that Reserve card, and it's awesome because what it does is it gets you access to all the airport lounges. And then you get to like have all this food and free drinks and alcohol and take showers, especially when you're traveling. Sometimes you're going to have like anywhere from 12 to 24-hour layovers. So, and then that card also gets you enrolls, or it gets you that TSA pre-check as well. Unfortunately, you can only use TSA pre-check in the United States, but if you're going to travel in the US, so that's totally worth it. And you get like 3 times bonus points on travel. But I didn't know about that, so I just continued to use my preferred Chase Sapphire preferred card, and that worked well. I got like 2 times bonus points, and then I would every so often use the bonus points to get free travel tickets. So that was pretty cool. Also, I used the app, the XE Currency app, to figure out what the exchange rate was going to be in each country. And also make sure you have cash on you. There's a lot of countries that don't really favor credit cards. And I didn't bring a checkbook. I brought a checkbook. I don't think I ever used it. Also, make sure you download Venmo ahead of time, because you can't download it outside the United States. And the people in my travel program, they're always like, someone would purchase something and just say, oh, Venmo me back. And I never could because I couldn't download the app. So Venmo is great to have. And then packing. Honestly, I didn't want to have to try to remember what I packed because what I started out with 2 years ago was almost completely different at the end of the 2 years. But I will tell you this, just pack light, pack half of what you think you need. You can literally find almost everything you need anywhere in the world, except like period panties and the Diva Cup. You know, there are a few specialty items, but other than that, like, you can find good clothes, you can find toothbrush and toothpaste, mouthwash. You know, there's really good shopping in most major cities. So, and just make sure too that, you know, when you're going to Muslim countries and like in the Middle East, that you do want to dress more conservative and you want to cover yourself up just to respect the culture, and because you don't want a lot of unwanted attention. But if you're an American woman, the men are just going to follow you and grab your ass anyways. I was like fully covered when I was in Morocco because it was cold there. It was December. And I had a winter jacket on and boots and jeans, and a guy still came up and grabbed my ass. So yeah, that doesn't stop them apparently. But also I put the link for the Osprey bag that I used. I just used like a 46-liter backpack essentially that was on wheels. I mean, it was like this big. It wasn't that big, but I used it for 2 years and I made it work, and I put my clothes in packing cubes, and I had a couple outfits, and then when those outfits start to get holes in them or get stretched out, I would just donate them or throw them away and then buy new outfits in the new country I was in. And you'd be surprised how living more minimalistic like that, we just don't really need a whole lot as humans. And we have way too much stuff in America. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. You don't need stuff to be happy. So ever since living this way now, like whenever I'm at my parents' place right now, but when I get my own place, I am going to live like just so simple and not a lot of stuff, because having stuff overwhelms me. So if you're the same way, if you feel like you get overwhelmed with a lot of stuff, show me some hearts right now. Let me know I'm not alone with that. And then the last one is, if you don't want to have to figure out all this travel stuff on your own, you can join a program. So at the end of my 6 months, I was like, I am so tired of travel planning. I just want someone to do it for me. And I joined WeRoam, and there was 30 other digital nomads, like location independent people like me. You have to have an online job to join. And I paid $2,000 a month, and that includes your airline tickets to each country, and includes your accommodations. It includes a lot of the activities that they have planned. The things that it does not include is food, and if you do any additional side trips. So I thought it was a great deal, and you have a built-in community, and it was fun. It was so fun. I did it. That was when I traveled all throughout South America. I did it with that group. Unfortunately, the company dissolved the last month when I was in Colombia, so they no longer exist. But Remote Year is also another great option. I have a lot of friends who've done Remote Year, and it's pretty much the exact same as WeRoam. So I also have that website on the worksheet. So if you just are either like feeling overwhelmed with trying to figure out all this stuff on your own, or you just don't want to have to bother with it, And I recommend checking them out. You'd have to do a short little interview, but it's not too hard to get in. It is a little bit more pricey, but then again, people are doing all the planning for you. So yeah, that's the end of that. Hi, Tatum. Hi, Liz. Oh, Liz, good. You're working on minimalist closet right now. It's awesome. Once you go minimalistic, you don't ever want to go back. So that's my jam. Let me know what was the most useful thing I shared with you today. And if you're getting ready to travel, what do you think you'd want to start incorporating or start trying? Let me know in the comments section. Also, oh shoot, what was I going to say? Oh, also I want to recommend, if you are thinking about doing like maybe a big 6-month trip or 1-year trip or 2-year trip, it's really good too to do shorter little trips. To do like maybe a week-long abroad trip or 2 weeks abroad. So that way you can just get used to what it feels like living out of a smaller suitcase or a backpack and being away from the United States or your home country and getting into routine. So that's what I did when I was married at the time. My husband and I went to the Philippines for about 3 weeks, and then we went to New Zealand for 3 weeks, and like doing those trips helped to like build up my travel muscle. I do think there is such a thing as a travel muscle. So that was helpful for me before just going right into the big 2-year adventure. And honestly, it was only supposed to be 1 year, and then somehow it turned into 2 years. That usually happens. Once people are on the road, they're like, I want to stay. I don't want to go back. Yeah. Tatum, you said, hi, love. Wanting to travel solo for 3 weeks, end of December to January. Need to learn to pack light and mainly worried about safety being a female. Yeah, totally. I don't want to say don't worry about the safety, but also know that Tatum, I know you're smart and you've traveled before, and just like learn to trust yourself. And also know that you're not alone, that people are so friendly. And I always felt like when people, like when I was in Nepal, I was by myself for 2 weeks, and people were like, oh, you're by yourself? Okay, if you want to stay with us or you need help with this, like people are just so like willing to help you out and be there for you. It's amazing how kind and considerate people are in other countries. And I just, like I said, never really felt endangered. In Colombia, I felt a little. There was sometimes I felt maybe not the safest, but yeah. So I think that's it. Hopefully that was helpful. And if you want to talk to me, let me know. Just, comment in the comment section if you want to like get on the phone and we chat about this and you're like, I'm thinking about doing this, but everyone's trying to talk me out of it, but my intuition and my gut is saying I need to, and this is the next step to help me become an empowered, confident, female or man. I don't want to leave the men out. Like, I'll hear you, I'll listen to you, and we'll get you traveling in a way that feels good for you. So, all right. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.